and today I'm going to be talking about dumb rappers and some genius rappers. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Supreme Diaries, and I am your host Supreme Kumbaya. And today I'm going to be talking about rap artists, or I think we should call them rap geniuses, because I figured out that some of them are actually geniuses in what they do. Rap takes a very creative process. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Rap geniuses. Without wasting any time, growing up I used to listen to a lot of rap. I grew up listening to rap, and I used to idolize rappers, some of which were your Lil Waynes, your 50 Cent and Rick Ross and so forth. Those were the hottest rappers at the time. Their lyrics and profanity polluted my mind. Their lyrics were all over my mixed statuses and mixed monikers. At some point I used to go by Young Hustler. Probably something I heard from a song. I remember something I heard from a song. Can't even recall which song it was, because hustling is in everybody's lyrics. But to be honest, I didn't always think of them as geniuses. It's only now that I've become of age that I realize that some of them take this rapping craft seriously, and what they do is meticulous. It shows a certain level of dedication. It shows a certain level of intelligence, a certain level of genius. But like I said, I didn't always pay attention to the level of genius or the intelligence behind the rapper or the meticulousness behind the rapper. I just thought of them as rappers, rap artists. I didn't pay attention to the artist part of it. I listened to an audiobook by 50 Cent titled Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. In that book, he even goes as far as saying that Tupac was an art student, and he played the character of a thug so good that it got him killed. I don't know about that, but I know that we all thought Tupac was a thug. We all believed that Tupac was a thug. Till today, when we think of Tupac, we think of thug life, baby. So it really took me a while to realize that rappers are artists. They're like actors. They are portraying a character. So there's the rapper who is trying to sell his music, and there's the human being. There's two sides to them. The rapper is not the same person that you would meet in a different circumstance. Since I'm a fan of Jay-Z, he's the one whose art I started looking into. I've come to know that Jay-Z does not write his raps. And I had to ask myself, then how does he do it? How does he have so many great songs and so many great albums without writing down his raps? And I found out that he trained his mind to memorize his rap. And I like that. It's dope. So I decided, instead of listening to what Jay-Z says in his rap music, I would rather listen to what made him successful. Instead of listening to him going big pimping, pouring liquor on women, I would rather admire him for being able to train his mind to remember his lyrics, to remember his raps, and try and adopt that skill so I can be able to implement it where it's needed in my life. Again, I had to ask myself, why do I like Jay-Z? What do I like about his songs? What do I like about his verses? And I figured out that most of the time in his verses, he uses double entendre and triple entendre. That's how he lays his verses. That's how he structures his verses. And that's what makes him sound so dope. J. Cole uses the same structure for layering his verses. I guess that's why he's considered a GOAT. So I guess its structure is a dope structure. It's catchy. If you have an ear for music, it's catchy. You can pick up. It's a dope structure for layering verses. It gets listeners. So I figured out, instead of listening to his double entendre and triple entendre, that some of them go over my head, the most important part that I can learn from him is having a structure, a dope structure, a solid structure, a structure that surpasses time. If you watch my last YouTube video, I mentioned that 50 Cent is the one who got me hooked on rap because my brother plays music a lot in the house. So I needed to figure out how can 50 Cent go from gangster to whoop your head with a back of a steel to writing a magnificent book titled Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. And as I began searching, I found that 50 Cent is a rapper, he's a rap artist, a rap genius. But his friends aren't rappers. His friends with Robert Greene. Robert Greene is the one who helped him put that book together. So instead of listening to 50 Cent say, I whoop your head with a back of a steel, I would rather watch him how he moves. And what I realized that if you want to do great things, magnificent things, you should have smart friends. You should have friends that are smarter than you. And that's what I learned from 50 Cent. But the thing that fascinated me the most when it comes to rappers, because that's what I listen to a lot. So I am fascinated by musicians in general, but I'm here to talk about rappers today, is how to replan the sequels to their albums. Is it something that they have in mind before their career takes off? Is it something that they think of once they release the first album to their sequel? That, oh, I think I got more material relating to this album that I can do a follow-up album. I can do a sequel. Like how did Lil Wayne think that he's going to do 4 albums of the Carter, like the Carter 1, the Carter 2, the Carter 3, the Carter 4. I think there's 4 of them if I'm not mistaken. Because I lost interest after the Carter 3, which was a very dope album. So did he plan that before he blew up, or it was after the blowing up of the Carter 1? Because either way, whether it was after the release of the Carter 1 where he decided that he was going to do the second album, the third album, the fourth album, that shows some level of intelligence. It shows that this person can think 3-4 albums into the future. And if you can think 2-3 steps ahead, that's genius. That's smart. I like that. So that's what I like about Lil Wayne and Jay-Z, because Jay-Z did Blueprint 1, Blueprint 2, Blueprint 3. That means they're able to think ahead. They're able to think long term. Instead of listening to Lil Wayne talk about bitches, hoes, and all that, which fascinated me in my younger years. But now I'm fascinated by the fact that I think he's a genius because he can think 2-3 steps, 4 albums into his career. And it's something that I would like to do. It's something that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to think long term because I think thinking long term is paramount for success. You cannot just live for today. You need to think for tomorrow. You need to think for the future. And that takes planning. It takes a lot of intelligence. And I like that. So that goes to say that rappers aren't dumb as their music makes some of us to be. What Jay-Z and Lil Wayne did with the sequel of their albums was good. But Kendrick Lamar took it to a whole nother level of genius. All his albums are a depiction of a different media format. If you listen to Section 80, it's a novel. You can tell this because in the album there's a track titled Chapter 6 and a track titled Chapter 10. And chapters are most likely found in novels. So that makes Section 80 a depiction of a novel. Section 80 was followed up by Good Kid, Mad City. It's a dope album. Or rather, I should say, it's a dope movie. Because that's what Good Kid, Mad City is. It's in the format of a movie. If you listen to that album, there's skits in there that sound like movie scenes. As you're listening, you can already picture what's going on. What's going on in Kendrick's life, what's going on in Kendrick's hood. You can already tell that Kendrick had a wild adolescent's life, which was movie-like. You can tell from the skits, because what goes on in those skits are like movie scenes. It sounds like a movie. So that's what Good Kid, Mad City is. It's in the format of a movie. It's dope. It's genius to be able to plan out your albums like that, saying my first album is going to be a movie. No, saying my first album is going to be a novel. My second album is going to be a movie. And the third album, Pimp a Butterfly, is poetry. We can tell that it's poetry because there's this poem that he keeps reciting throughout the album, which goes, I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same, abusing my power, full of resentment that turned into a deep depression. Blah, 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 blah. I wish I could remember it all. It would be dope. But unfortunately, I cannot. But yeah, that's a poem he keeps reciting in the album. That is to solidify that Pimp a Butterfly is poetry. So he did a novel, he did a movie, he did poetry. And the next album was Damn. And Damn is a magazine. You can tell that Damn is a magazine by looking at the album art. The way the album art is designed. It's like a front cover of a magazine. And if you look at the track list, all the tracks are in capital letters, like you would have in a magazine headline. So the album art and the track list is what solidifies that Damn is a magazine cover. So now we got a novel, we got a movie, we got poetry, we got a magazine. And he wasn't done because his creative juices just keep flowing. The genius just kept taking to a whole nother level. Rap genius. That's what some of these guys are. Of course, there's some dumb rappers and some genius rappers. So that's what we have, some dumb rappers and some genius rappers. If you listen to dumb rappers, you become a dumb consumer because you're consuming some dumb lyrics that have no hidden gems in them. So this is what makes the difference between your Tekashi 6ix9ine and your Kendrick Lamar's. You need to be a genius to maintain longevity in anything, including in rap. So the next album was Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper, which was a theater play. And if you look at the album art, when you look at the characters, those are characters that you would find in a theater play. If you listen to songs like Cry Together, what goes on in that song, the way it's done, it sounds like something that would happen in a theater play. It sounds like something that would take place in a theater play. So there we have it. Kendrick was able to think 5 steps into his career. If that's not genius, then I don't know what genius is. The point that I'm making is that it's the consumer's responsibility to discover the art in the rap. Don't be listening to the music on the surface, because a lot of the things that they say is just to convert you into a customer. And there's nothing wrong with being a customer, as long as you are an informed customer. So know what you're buying. And is it worth occupying your mind? How is it going to make a difference in your life? Are you going to be like me when I was a teenager? Talk about bitches and hoes, not understanding what even those words meant at that time. I fill my mind with profanity. But now, because I am an informed consumer, I'm filling my mind with art. Their art. And again, being an informed customer means you don't take everything that I say for my word. It means you go out and do your own research. Figure out what you can discover from their music, what you find constructive in their music that you can use to benefit you. And if you like this video, please don't forget to press the like button. I think that's what it looks like. And be sure to subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, baby. That was Biggest Ad Lib.